Friends, how many of us have them? Friends, ones we can depend on. Friends. What's going on? Every time I hear that, I think about next Friday and Data and Craig being tied up and Little Joker say, I don't even listen to Houdini. But anyway, welcome back to another episode of Too Good to Be Drew. I am your host, Drew Davis, a certified life and performance coach that works with athletes, student athletes, and everyone in between. But this episode is very special, and I always say that about every episode, but the next thing that I'm talking about is always the most important thing because I want to talk about things that people are going through, and more so, I want to talk about subjects that we often gloss or wash over. And so I want to spend some time talking about friendship and what that really looks like. But before we get started, I want to thank everybody that has given a But before we get started, I want to thank everybody that has given a rating or review to the show. It's going to help us exponentially reach the people we're trying to reach. It's going to help us climb the charts. And I couldn't have done it without your support and your love and your constant approval for growing the show and for everything that we're working towards. So thank you once again. If you're listening to this and you haven't tuned in and you haven't went and given it a rating and review in Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please take the 2 to 3 minutes and go do that right now. You never know what these likes and what all these ratings are going to do, who it's going to expose it to. And I'm trying to reach people all the way from here to, I don't care, Florence, Italy, Naples, Bratislava, Prague, Fusa, Japan, Taiwan, wherever you want to say. I'm trying to reach the people that need the help. I really appreciate the support and the love that I've gotten from my friends, former teammates, acquaintances, mentors, teachers, family, little sisters, big cousins, little cousins, you name it, all of that stuff. The people that have fallen through and given me 100% support, I appreciate it. You didn't just talk about it. You didn't just say, hey, man, good job with the show. Hope it does great. You've come back and you've continuously given me feedback in response to what episodes you liked, what I'm doing well, what I can do better. I greatly appreciate it because getting that feedback or getting one of those text messages or those emails, they end up being something very, very good that really helps me keep going. It really keeps pushing me forward. So as we talk about friendship, I can sit here and I have hundreds and hundreds of friends. And that's been one of the perks to playing sports and being an athlete growing up and playing in college and the NFL level. I talk a lot to my lady and we talk about, I know so many people and there's a lot of times where I'm afraid to ask for something or I'm afraid to let people know what I'm doing because I know a lot of people got other things going, but I know an abundance of people. And as of late or over the last couple months, I've been leaning more into people reaching out for interviews, reaching out for them to support the show. I'm always a person that's calling and connecting people and making sure people are okay. I'm the person that calls and checks on everybody where you're like, man, I hear from Drew, twice a year, or he at least texts me, he remembers my birthday. That's just part of my DNA makeup, and that's what I do. So I was talking to my lady and I looked back on my life and I was like, it's no mistake that I have all the friends that I do because we're in close proximity with a lot of other people that like the same things that we do. So let me explain for a minute. So in high school, I'm playing football and baseball. On probably each given team, football is probably the biggest team. So there might be 50 to 75 guys on the football team. On the baseball team, there might be as much as, 20, 30 guys. So you take that from high school for 4 years, times it by four, get a little bit of variance, but you have the same friends. Then you go to college. I go to the University of Oregon where there are 100 plus people on the squad for 4 years. So that's about, give or take 300, 400 people that you get to meet over those 4 years that I was in Oregon. Then I go to the NFL where they have about, 50 to 75 people on a roster, 90 when it comes to training camp. So you have a chance to rub elbows and talk to a lot of different people. You're playing against them. You're playing against a lot of people that you played against in college or that you knew in college and you played with. And so going in the NFL, playing with 50 to 75 people for 4 years, that ends up being another 200 or 300 people that you end up knowing throughout the walk of life. Then I get into coaching college football at the University of Central Florida. We have about 100 players on that team. And then with coaching and staff, we have about 20 to 30 more people. Then I go work at UCLA for 4 years as a director of player development. We have 100 plus players on the team. We have 20 to 30 staff members and university members or people on campus that we know. And so adding all those up, I want to say these, and I'm horrible. I took Math 111 three times in college, so y'all don't hate me for this and don't sit on the other side with your calculator trying to judge me. But that can be upwards of maybe about 750 to 1,000 people that I have met in life just through sports. And that's saying a lot because there's some people out here who are struggling to find their friend group or struggling to find people that can be there for them time and time again. Friends that they can call when they're going through something harsh. Some friend that they can call when they have some really, really good news, like my dog Ed Jones, who did the player development summit, the first in-person player development summit ever in the history of ever. And he did that in Kansas City, Missouri, and it was a great success. He had a great turnout. Somebody that you can call and share stuff with like that. I got a text last week from one of my friends who I grew up with, playing sports with, and we played baseball together. I've known him since about the age of 12 or 13, and we've been as thick as thieves. He's got a family. I've been away from college, but every time we connect, it's like we never lost a moment together. And he sent me a very touching message the other day, and I just want to share it with you guys. This text message was in response to episode 7, which is Men's Health Month, where it just talks about what I'm going through and what I've been through in the past year with my dad passing away. And this text message means a lot to me. Been listening to your podcast, brother. Just wanted to tell you to keep fighting the good fight. You are a good man and a great friend. You should be proud of what you are building and the effects that it will have on others. I know this is your first Father's Day without your pops, and I know that feeling from my mom. Just know he was and is proud of who you are and what you have done. I also want you to know that his death had a significant impact on me. I didn't expect the impact, but at the funeral, you all talked about his fight with cancer and how he fought hard and didn't give up. That made me want to fight for my health. I went and saw a clinical nutritionist and doctor after his funeral. I am down 150 pounds and the healthiest I have been in my life and have a plan and a path to stay this way. I don't know that I would have fought so hard had it not been for hearing about your pop struggle. Thank you, brother, and couldn't be more proud to call you a friend. Thank you for being you. Ooh wee. Ooh wee, that choked me up when I read it. It choked me up when I read it because it lets me know that the work that I'm doing in this space is the good work. The work that I'm doing in this space of being vulnerable and having these discussions that many men are afraid to have, or that many men hold back until it's too late or until it's too much, that it is having its effect. But more so, I'm happy because a friend of mine didn't just keep that information to himself. He didn't just he didn't just let his testimony and his story hang in the balance. And while I'm over here doing the work, that he's benefited from something that happened in my life or something that he was a part of, that he decided and he had the courage to share it with me. And so I appreciate this dude. I appreciate him. And I appreciate these messages that are coming in because it lets me know that I'm on the right track. It lets me know that we're having the effect that we need to have. But more so, it's letting me really know who my friends and my supporters are. And I want to let you guys know that this is what friendship looks like. Sometimes we don't know how to be great friends. Sometimes we just think friends is being able to go out and get drinks and being able to answer the phone when somebody calls. But friendship is being there for people when times are good and when times are bad. Friendships is checking on somebody, picking up the phone and calling because you hadn't heard from this person in forever. Friendship is being able to disclose some things that are vulnerable and embarrassing and makes you want to crawl under a rock because you can't believe that you're going through this, and you have somebody that says, "Man, no, we're gonna get through this together. I got you. Let me know what you need. I'm coming over. What you want me to bring to eat?" That's what friendship is. It comes in so many different varieties, but friendship is being there for people. Friendships is going that extra mile, going that extra step. Friendship is remembering the birthdays and sending a call or a text or a FaceTime video that you remembered. Friendship is sending a text or call or FaceTime and you're a day late with the birthday or a week late and you forgot about it, but you wanted to let them know that, dang, man, it's totally slipped my mind that it was your birthday, but I just want to reach back and let you know I love you and I hope you had a great birthday and hopefully we can talk soon. That's what friendship is. And the way I described it to somebody. I said, I don't judge my friends on what they can do for me when I need something. I judge my friends on what they can do for me when I don't need anything. Let that sit with you for a minute. I judge my friends on what they can do for me when I don't need anything. And that can be kind of confusing sometimes because you're like, well, Drew said he's good. He don't need anything. But man, just let's go grab some food because nothing's going on in life. Let's go get a drink or let's go watch a movie to spend some time together and bond and so we can figure out what's going on in each other's lives. the major thing that we downplay to be little, or the little thing that we push to upgrade to be a big thing for us. But it's that connection that makes friendships. And as we get older, we get married and we have kids and we run businesses and we have a house and a mortgage to pay for and vacation and all this kind of stuff. But friendships are just like that relationship with your wife or your fiance or your girlfriend, with your work. It takes time and it's a challenge. Like, you got to continue to put the work in for a friendship. These are people that you have memories and times and got into trouble with and had some very high highs and had some very low lows. But that's what friendship is. Friendships is you remembering the first day you met that person, remembering something that you guys did when you guys went out on a double date and it was just horrible, or when you went out on a double date and he met his wife and you met your girlfriend or a girl that you dated for a long time. Like, these are what these friendships are. So don't downplay your friendship. Don't take it for granted, because there are a lot of people out here who need some really, really good friends, and they're looking for that consistency and stability from you. Now, I don't want to toot my own horn and say that I'm the greatest friend that walked this earth, but I do put in the effort. I do put in the time. I do put in the constant work that it requires. And even if that's calling, and I'm a big proponent, I call and leave voicemails all the time. I get so mad at people when their voicemail is full, and I send them a text message and I say, "Hey man, that's so unprofessional that you got a full voicemail. I'm going to need to speak to the manager." But I say that because there is so much power in being able to hear someone's voice. There's a study I saw a long time ago, and it was people that they stopped and they interviewed, and they were talking about, I think it was from Mother's Day. And they were talking about moms, and they sat there and they asked somebody and they say, "What do you love about your mom? What are you thankful for about your mom? Like, tell me a little bit about your mom." And they got these people on camera and they're talking about all this stuff about their mom, about how great they are and how much they miss them and they're on the other side of the world. And then they give them a phone and they say, "Hey, well, would you like to call your mom and tell her that stuff?" And you kind of see people get a little bit red and they get a little bit embarrassed, but they smile in a way of like, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'll call her. It's late where she's at, or she might be asleep, or they're on vacation, but I'll call her." And they film that interaction and they just show how the person on the phone lights up when they hear that voice or when they hear all these great things that are being told about them. But then also the person that's telling it is giddy in a way. Like, this is mom. This is the person that birthed you. This is the person that's been there for you. This is the person that, wiped your boo-boos away and your tears away and comforted you when you fell. And that's talking about a different subject. That's moms, but hearing the voice and hearing that affirmation and hearing people support you in a way is something that can't be matched. It's something that we cannot sit here and undervalue it. That's why I leave everybody messages. I text you sometimes, yeah, but I want you to leave a message, because there's sometimes I'm ranting on there for a minute and a half. I got friends that all we do is talk stuff on there, but they have these messages to go back to anytime that they want. But more so when I reach out to a teammate who I've lost touch with, or I haven't seen in a while, or I told I would call and I never did. I call and I leave these messages that they can listen to, that I want them to know, like, bro, I want to hear how you're doing. There's some things and there's some cues and clues we can get when we're on the phone with somebody that we can't necessarily get through a text message. "Hey bro, how you doing?" I'm good." Okay, there's a pause. There's some stuttering. There's a little bit of thinking in there. Maybe they might be good, but maybe that's something you also need to dig deeper into. "Hey man, I saw you pause a little bit. Like, is there anything you think of that's popping up? Is there anything that's not good? Is there anything you want to talk to me about?" And even if they say there's nothing to talk about in that moment, maybe you make the space safe for them and you say, "All right, bro, if it ever comes up and you want to talk about it, bro, just hit me. You ain't gotta text me. You ain't gotta see when I got time in my schedule. Just hit me, call me, bro, and we can talk. I'm here for you." One great thing about COVID that I've noticed is I tell everybody I love them. My homeboys, the guys I play with, and it's not a "I love you, bro," or "I love you, man," or man, it's "I love you." Straight up. I love you. Sometimes as men, we soften it. "Hey, bro, man, I love you, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you, broski. Much love. Love all day, baby. That's how we do. Love, peace, serenity, wagwan, all that, whatever." But man, to really, I've heard more grown, mature men since COVID in the last 5 years say I love you to other men that they grew up with, that they played sports with, that they've been through some stuff with, that they're connected through marriage and now they're brother-in-laws or their cousins. I've heard, and I've said I love you more times than I have in my entire life to my friends in these last 5 years. And it doesn't have to be when they accomplish something. It doesn't have to be after we sat down and talked and let our feelings out and we're vulnerable. It could be after a quick check-in. Hey man, I know, hey, congrats to your baby girl for graduating. How you doing? I know you've been traveling. How's your back? How was surgery? You straight? Okay, cool, man. I'll be there next week. Hopefully we can link up. All right, bet. I love you. Man, I want them to hear it. I want them to know it. I want them to feel it. That's friendship. So if you have anybody that you haven't told that you love them, that if they would leave this earth today, or if your friendship ended today, and that there'd be any inkling or thought of whether you guys were or as great as friends as you were, or that you love each other, let them know that. You will scare the hell out of somebody if you just pick up the phone and send them a text right now and say love you. They'll call you like, hey bro, your little cousin got your phone or something? Like, you good? Your phone in your possession? Okay, I just somebody just you just sent a message that said I love you. I'm just making sure we ain't talked in like 2 weeks, and I'm making sure there ain't no beef or nothing. And you good? Okay, like that was meant for me. All right, okay, bet. Okay, man. I love you too, bro. Okay, I appreciate that. Let's connect soon. You will confuse the hell out of them. But from that moment forward, I love you or love you won't be so much of a stretch. That'll be the standard, to the point where when you guys get off the phone and there's no I love you, it's kind of like, all right, maybe he's in a rush. Like, I know he loved me. He told me he loved me. And maybe that might be too deep for a lot of men or a lot of people that are tuning in today. I want it to be. I want it to be. If you've had any friends that you've had a falling out with, whether it's for money, for a girl, from a situation, something that got misconstrued, I challenge you guys to text or call that person and to apologize, to say, I'm sorry, to talk about the friendship that you guys had and that you still want, to squash the beef when it might be, and to be like, man, I really miss the friendship I had with you and I want to get that back. Is it possible? Like, what can I do on my end? I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought about this situation and this is what I thought about it. And this is how I felt about it. And I was really hurt. That's a big word to use. I was hurt. I was scared. I was embarrassed. I was mad. I was angry. I've taken some time to reflect. And man, I want to move forward, and I want to put that water under the bridge. And after that, the ball's in their court. But rid yourself of what you're holding on to. Rid yourself of that anger. Rid yourself of being upset, of you ever had a friend that you've been mad at, or that you guys had a falling out and you can't even remember what y'all had a falling out about? Like, it's happened to me. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, but like, you got to look at it 5 or 10 years later, and somebody like, hey, you and such used to be cool. Yeah, we used to be cool. What happened? Man, I don't even know, but I think it was over some girl, but I can't even remember. We ended a friendship with somebody that we really rocked with, and we can't even remember the reason. But you have the power to change that. You have the power to extend that olive branch to them, to forgive them, to apologize. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the laughs and the memories that you guys are gonna create are far greater than the thing that tore you guys apart. Maybe they did something that they can't come back from. But you got to learn to forgive, and you got to learn to move past that hurt and that pain and that rejection. You got to. I hope this episode brings you exactly what you wanted, exactly what you needed to hear at exactly this right time. I hope I was able to talk about some things, uncover some things, help you unpack, to think about some people in your life that you love, some friends that have a lasting effect on you, that really mean a lot to you. And I hope you do the right thing in making sure you mend that relationship, or you continue to build and make that relationship a lot stronger to withstand the test of time. Once again, as another episode of Too Good to Be Drew, I'm your host, Drew Davis. Click the link in the show notes. That'll take you right to my website and right to a sheet and a form where you can fill out and you can send in your questions. If you're thinking about a question, you probably have one, so just send it in. I would love to have 100, 1,000 questions that I have to get to. And I'm going to try to get to every single one of them. So once again, I'm Uncle Drew. Stay healthy.